Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niket Karunaratne.
And I'm Delanjali Anand, and these are the top stories for tonight.
Flood warnings out for the time being, yet a slight increase in rainfall predicted in the coming days. Removing of hazardous trees and rocks in Lower Kadugannava to take place until tomorrow morning. Instructions for motorists to use alternative routes. Minister Sagala says when granting disaster relief, old circulars will not be taken into account. The first meeting of the new alliance, including the SLFP in Ambalanthota. Namal says they will not allow the political slogan of chasing rogues to be used anymore. A daily recording of 100 dengue patients. All arrangements for the third swearing-in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The second consecutive defeat for Sri Lanka, making the team uncertain to enter the Super 8 round.
Now for those and other stories in detail. A slight increase in the rainfall affecting the southwestern part of the island is expected from today.
The rainy weather pattern may continue during the next few days as well. Intermittent rainfall is anticipated in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and southern provinces, as well as in the Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. In certain locations, rainfall exceeding 50 millimeters is expected. The meteorology report adds that heavy rainfall could also occur in the northern and north-central provinces, as well as in the Mathura districts. Evening or nighttime showers are also possible in a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklo districts. In the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and also in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts, intermittent winds at a speed between 40 to 50 kilometers per hour may also take place. Water levels in the reservoirs of Casterly and Mausagale are reaching the spill levels as a result of torrential rainfall lashing on the western slopes of the Central Highlands. Engineers in charge of the Vimalasundara, Lakshapana, New Lakshapana, Canyon and Polpiti hydropower electricity stations say hydropower generation in these stations is at maximum capacity. Vehicle transport in the Lower Kadugannava area on the Colombo Kandy Road has been restricted. The reason being the removal of dangerous trees and boulders as well as decayed tree branches along the road. District Secretary Kegal Ranjan Jai Singha said that an incident of falling of trees was reported near the 98th kilometer post in the Lower Kadugannava on the Colombo Kandy Road on the 23rd of last month. An on-the-spot report of the situation was obtained from the National Building Research Institute. The report has recommended to remove all branches of the trees bending towards the road. It has also recommended the removal of 3 boulders in the vicinity in a secure manner. The State Timber Corporation is engaged in the discarding of tree branches. As the operations which commenced this morning are scheduled to take place until tomorrow morning, the police informs the motorists and pedestrians using the Colombo Kandy Road to use alternate routes during this period. Vehicles travelling towards Kandy from Colombo could turn left at the Ambepussa junction in Varakapula and proceed towards Kandy via the Kurunagala Road. Another route for reaching Kandy is to travel from Kegal to Rambukkana via Karundupanam. Rambukkana town could also be reached from the Mavanala town. From Rambukkana town, it is possible to reach Kandy via Hemmathagama along the Gampula road. Meanwhile, Minister Dr. Ranjit Siambalapitiya has requested all state officials to act in a flexible manner in the face of the disaster situation. State Minister Dr. Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that everybody has a major responsibility to be more flexible in confronting any disastrous situation.
The Senior Presidential Advisor and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnayaka says they will go beyond the old circulars in granting relief to the people affected by the floods. He has expressed these observations when he visited the victims of floods in Kaduela recently. Sagala Ratnayaka has looked into the program to restore the lives of the people affected by the floods after the water recedes. He has ordered the relevant officials to provide the necessary facilities immediately for the affected public to resettle in their original places of living. A health camp with the participation of a foreign medical team was held in the premises of the historic Sri Rankadu Pattini Devalaya in Kaduwela today. Senior Presidential Advisor and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagla Ratnayaka said that they go out of the way when dealing with all circulars. The Presidential Advisor and Chief of Staff said that a sum of 10,000 rupees will be provided to each victim, disregarding the fact of whether their houses were destroyed in the floods. The army will also be assigned to repair the partially and fully damaged houses. Sagla Ratnayaka added that the fully damaged houses, or rather the President, is extending the relevant instructions in this regard.
The national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Namal Rajapaksa, says that they will not allow to continue the usage of the political slogan, catching thieves. He points out that certain political parties are making use of this slogan only during the election period with the intention of coming into power. He has made these remarks addressing the Rattota electorate meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in the Rattota town today. Secretary General of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sagar Karyavasam, said that 6.9 million people of this country voted the SLPP to safeguard this country and its resources. He said that the power vested with the SLPP government was seized forcefully by groups with vested interest. He pointed out that the time has come to regain that power.
රටේ ජනතාව සුවහසක් බලාපොරොත්තු තියාගෙන 69 ලක්ෂයක් ජනතාව අපිට බලය දුන්නේ මේ රට විකුණන්නවත් රටේ ජනතාවගේ අනාගතේ නැති කරන්නවත් නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි ඒ දීපු බලය අපෙන් උදුරගත්තා. ඒ උදුරගත්තේ වැරදි විදිහට අපෙන් දෙයක් ගත්තනම් අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක නැවත ගන්නවා. උඹලට ඒක තියාගන්න දෙන්නේ
National organizer of the SLPP, Rohita Begunawardena, said that the leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Anurakumara Disanayaka, now accuses the Yahapalana government, mentioning that he was also responsible for the economic crisis. Parliamentarian Abegunawardena said that the Peramuna, Anura Kumara Disanayaka, and his party members also contributed to form the Yahapalana government back in 2015. Therefore, the JVP is also responsible for the acts taken by that government, he said. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa said that many political camps in this country currently use the popular slogan of catching thieves. However, this slogan was used over and over again in many election campaigns by those forces. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa pointed out that it is a duty vested with the Inspector General of the Police and not a responsibility of a president. He further said that Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will introduce a proper system in the future along with new technical measures to wipe out corruption in this country.
A public rally of the New Alliance, including the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, was held in the Ambalanthara town today. Theme of the meeting was a victory for the country and going forward in unity. Minister Mahinda Amaravira organized the rally. Public representatives, including leaders of the New Alliance, have attended the event. Minister Susil Premchand said that in their stage there were 19 members representing the parliament. He also said that in the recent past, numerous candidates targeting the presidential election were conducting seminars and public meetings, but none of them were able to bring such a large number of MPs into a single stage. Susil Premchand has predicted that the number of parliamentarians attending the next meeting will be doubled. Later on, it would become threefold. He further said that they will amass a multitude and their alliance will be ready to face any future election. Minister Nimasri Pala De Silva said that they have rescued the Sri Lanka Freedom Party from political desolation. He recalled a statement of the former president of the party that anybody inside the government is unable to stay in the party. The minister added that after making such an utterance, the party president had appointed a person who was not a party member as the president of the party. He then stated that this appointee was the presidential candidate. Nimasri Pala has inquired as to how he could take such a step. He also said that they have rescued the party from the trap and made Sri Lanka Freedom Party as a party which could govern the country. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva also said that they are the group which would receive a majority of seats in the parliament. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that it was not today that they had started to form the alliance. The plans had been made 2 months ago, but added that their past president had avoided all the avenues for party unity. He further said that Maithripala has reduced their party strength to 2 from 140. Mahinda Amaravira further said due to the retaliatory attitude of Maithripala, a large group of their party went to the SJB. The minister has requested the group which quit the party to rejoin. He also said that joining the alliance is the way to the victory.
Minister Manusha Nanayakkara says that there would not have been any need to go before the IMF today had Monash University of Australia been given the opportunity to come to Sri Lanka 15 years ago. He accuses the Janata Vimukti Peramuna for depriving the country of gaining this investment opportunity. Minister Nanayakkara has made these remarks participating in the Trincomalee district program of Jayagamu, Sri Lanka yesterday. Trincomalee District Coordinating Committee Chairman A.L.M. Athahulla and former Minister of the Eastern Province Aryaviti Galapatti have also attended the event. Minister Manusha Nanayakkara said that Sri Lanka had been the victim of unruly trends and wrong decisions. The country had suffered immensely as a result of such developments. One such incident had taken place around 15 years ago when Monash University prepared to enter Sri Lanka. However, during that time, the JVP members in the country agitated against private universities and chased them away. As a result, the university left the country and went to Malaysia, where they formed their first overseas university. Manusha Nanayakkara added that today Malaysia adds $240 million of extra money to the national income through the university system. Today, Malaysia has become an educational hub. Sri Lankans had given away the opportunity granted to them. The economic killers of the country had made the country into a debt of 78 billion rupees. Manusha Nanayakkara further said that if they were able to retain Monash University in Sri Lanka, we would not have been able to go before the IMF today.
The International Monetary Fund (IMF) says that the second evaluation and discussion under the fourth clause regarding Sri Lanka will commence next Tuesday. The IMF says that all the economic policies introduced by the Sri Lankan government is successful.
As noted, on June 12th, the Executive Board will meet to discuss the second review and the Article 4 consultation. In Sri Lanka, we do see macroeconomic policy reforms starting to bear fruit. Commendable outcomes include rapid disinflation, robust reserve accumulation, and initial signs of economic growth while preserving stability of the financial system. Program performance is strong, with most quantitative and structural conditionality for the second review met or implemented with delay, and reforms are still ongoing in some areas. The next steps on the debt restructuring are indeed to conclude negotiations with external commercial creditors and to implement agreements in principle with the official creditors. The domestic debt operations are largely completed. Debt restructuring discussions are continuing. More specifically, the authorities have been holding extensive discussions with external official creditors regarding an MOU with the official creditor committee and the final agreements with the Export-Import Bank of China. Discussions with external bondholders continue with the aim of reaching agreements in principle soon. Negotiations with the China Development Bank are also at an advanced stage. There is a strong expectation that agreements with external commercial creditors consistent with program parameters will be reached soon. So overall, we assess that there has been sufficiently strong progress on the debt restructuring front.
Sri Lanka's remittances coming through official channels gained 13.5% to $544.4 million in May 2024 compared to the same month last year, helped by more expatriates using the official banking channels. The remittances in the first 5 months were $2,624.4 million, 11.8% up from the same period last year, the official data showed. The remittances have risen continuously after the central bank gave up a parallel exchange rate regime which compelled most expatriates to switch informal Unidal and Hawala manual transfer methods. Sri Lanka witnessed a 57% jump in remittances coming through formal banking channels to $5.97 billion in 2023 from $3.8 billion a year earlier, helped by elimination of parallel exchange rate.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will take oath, as too will his members of the new cabinet, tomorrow evening at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in the national capital. He will be the first three-term Prime Minister since Jawaharlal Nehru. Yesterday, President Draupadi Murmu appointed Modi as the Prime Minister designate after he was elected as leader of the BJP Parliamentary Party, and the National Democratic Alliance partners submitted their letters of support. Following his appointment, Modi addressed reporters at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, expressing his honour at being named PM designate. He acknowledged the support of the NDA and discussed the significance of the 18th Lok Sabha in the context of India's upcoming 100th anniversary of independence in 2047. A three-layered security has been put in place at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where he will be administered the oath of office by President Draupadi. Officials said commandos from the Delhi Police, SWAT and NSG will be deployed around the venue and other strategic locations as Delhi remains on high alert for the event. Police have declared the national capital a no-fly zone, banning the use of aerial platforms like drones, paragliders, remotely piloted aircrafts and hot air balloons for the next couple of days. The swearing-in ceremony is expected to witness the presence of leaders from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, the Mauritius and Seychelles. In addition to the Maldives, as part of India's neighbourhood first policy, the dignitaries will be given designated routes from their hotels to the venue and back.
Now, a public meeting of the United Youth Organization was held in Uppuldeniya in Kalawava recently. Chief incumbent of the Uppuldeniya Rajamahawihara, Venerable Dhammalankara Thero, has presided over the United Youth Program. President of the United Youth Organization has expressed opinion at the meeting, which was attended by the residents of the area. President of the United Youth Organization, Siddharth Chandrasekhara, said that they have been able this year to earn a substantial income from the tourist industry. He added that the revenue could double by next year. President of the United Youth Fund further said that therefore they have come to a stage where they could place hopes for the future.
Now, here are some more local news items in brief. 2 persons were killed in a train accident at the railway crossing in Endaramulla Vattala this morning. The police say the deceased were a 54-year-old male and a 34-year-old female. The Halgolla plantation has secured 3 victories in global sustainability. This was disclosed at a media briefing in Colombo yesterday. The estate was accorded the victories due to its conservation of the fertility of the soil, protecting biodiversity and minimizing the release of greenhouse gases and zeroing the emission of carbon dioxide. And that's a wrap of local news. Stay tuned for foreign news after this break.
உட்காருங்க சுபாபேஸ், உங்களுக்கு ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் வந்திருக்கேன். ரொம்ப தொலைவில் ஒரு சின்ன ஸ்கூலுக்கு.
பரவாயில்ல சார், அதுவும் ஒரு ஸ்கூல் தானே. டீச்சரும் போயிடுவீங்க.
உன்னதமான இலக்குகளை மனதில் கொண்டு நீங்கள் எடுக்கும் சரியான முடிவுகள் உங்களையும் நாட்டையும் பெருமையடைய செய்யும். நாங்கள் உங்கள் பெருமையின் அங்கமான மக்கள் வங்கி, தேசத்தின்
මචං ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆන් තමයි.
Now in foreign news, Apollo 8 astronaut Bill Anders, who snapped one of the most famous photographs taken in outer space, has died in a plane crash at the age of 90. Officials say a small aircraft he was flying crashed into the sea off Washington state. Anders' son, Greg, confirmed that his father's body was recovered yesterday. Bill Anders, who was a lunar module pilot on the Apollo 8 mission, took the iconic Earthrise photograph, one of the most memorable and inspirational images of Earth from space, taken on Christmas Eve during the 1968 mission, the first crewed space flight to leave Earth and reach the Moon. The picture shows the planet rising above the horizon from the barren lunar surface. Anders later described it as his most significant contribution to the space program. The image is widely credited with motivating the global environmental movement and leading a creation of Earth Day.
Pinamu machang prima kottumi ෆන් තමයි.
News: Sri Lanka team has tasted its second defeat in the T20 World Cup cricket tournament at the hands of Bangladesh team today.
With the defeat by 2 wickets, it has become uncertain as to whether the Sri Lanka cricket team would be able to enter the Super 8 round of the World Cup. The match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh teams took place at the Dulles Playground in the United States. The Bangladesh team, after winning the toss, has invited Sri Lanka to bat first. Their gamble appeared to have been proven when the Sri Lankan team's innings fell for less than 125 runs. The Sri Lankan openers Pathu Nissanka and Kusal Mendis have given some hope to the team when they built a formidable partnership for the opening wickets. Nissanka's knock of 47 runs included 7 boundaries and 6s. Yet the middle order batting had collapsed and the Bangladeshi bowlers were able to restrict the Sri Lankan innings for 124 runs for the loss of 9 wickets.
Might be out, might be a wicket, is switched off.
It was due to the successful batting of Tawheed Hiddo that Bangladesh team was able to easily reach the 125-run victory target. He was able to hit 3 sixes in a row to 3 deliveries of Vanidu Hasaranga. Tawheed has registered an impeccable 40 runs. Nuwan Tushara had tried hard for victory, capturing 4 wickets for 18 runs. Yet his efforts were thwarted when the victorious team collected 125 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 19 overs.
Has that hit the pads? I think it has. So Bangladesh win by 2 wickets in the end.
එක සමහර සෝෂල් මීඩියා දෙනවා ටෙස්ට් කණ්ඩායම T20 දැම්මද කියලා. ඉතින් මෙහෙම මැච් පරදිනකොට මිනිසුන්ට හරි ලේසි ඇගිල්ල දික් කරනවා.
The Afghanistan team has also recorded a splendid 84-run victory against the New Zealand team in another T20 World Cup match played at the Providence grounds. This was the first occasion of Afghanistan securing a victory against New Zealand in a T20 international encounter. The Afghan team, batting first, hit 159 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 20 overs. Ramanullah Gurbas, 80, and Ibrahim Sadron, 44, successful bowlers of the New Zealand team were Trent Boult and Matt Henry, who took 2 wickets each. The New Zealand team was bowled out for 75 runs in just 15 overs. Only 2 Kiwi batsmen were able to pass the 10-run limit. Fazal Haq Furki and Rashid Khan have excelled, capturing 4 wickets each for the victorious Afghan team.
Pinamu machang prima kottumi ෆන් තමයි.
And that's all the news for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.